Apple's supposedly releasing new iPads this month, and one of which is going to be an iPad Pro that is equipped with an M2 processor, while the other is an update to the 10th generation iPad that's supposed to get the modern design styling that we all love about the iPad line. But the current spate of rumors indicate that Apple will launch these new devices through a series of press releases rather than a grand occasion media event like we've seen in recent years. Well, I don't think that's the entire story, and if my predictions are indeed correct, I believe that Apple will not only have a media event this month, but we're going to find out why the new iPad might have MagSafe. Let's get started. What is going on, everyone? My name is Mike Caputo. Welcome back to the channel. We are talking about iPad rumors and what I expect to see from Apple's event. Now, outside of WWDC and the controversy surrounding Stage Manager, Apple has not demonstrated the full breadth of iPadOS 16 features to the public. Now, I believe that Apple has a card or two up its sleeve, so to speak, when it comes to how these features will be demonstrated. And if you know anything about Apple, they love to put on a show and they love storytelling. Starting in iPadOS 15 with the introduction of SharePlay, Apple has new features that are coming in iPadOS 16 that leverage FaceTime as an enablement technology. Now, that's to say that these new features ride on top of FaceTime and use critical aspects of the service to enable new experiences, and one of those features that we know nothing about, other than what Apple demonstrated on stage at WWDC, is Freeform. Do you remember Freeform? With its focus on collaboration, Freeform lets multiple users work on a virtual whiteboard. Now, people say, why do I even need this? This is very useful for brainstorming ideas, if you're collecting assets, media project planning, or you simply want to flesh out your ideas in real time. But somewhat conveniently, there's very little known about Freeform, how it works, because it is cross-platform. It's available on your Mac, your iPad, and your iPhone. And somewhat strangely, this app has not been available in any of the developer or in the public beta apps since WWDC launched. Now, in my mind, this is just a little bit sketchy because Apple's reasoning behind their reluctance to quote-unquote test in public signals one or maybe even two different things. Maybe Apple's already working with key developers to help differentiate the Freeform experience at launch, or maybe Apple believes that Freeform is a service and experience that can be differentiated when demonstrating using specific hardware. Now, what this means is that we would probably see Apple, on stage doing a demonstration of Freeform, maybe using a MacBook Pro, maybe using the Mac Studio or Studio Display, and then do a follow-up demonstration with Freeform and the new hardware that they're announcing, because that's something that Apple would typically do. Talk about how, they can only bring the combination of hardware, software to apps like Freeform. Now, I don't know about you, but let me know if you are excited about Freeform. I think it's kind of cool from a planning perspective. I'd like to see how it works and what it is because, no one's seen it except for that demonstration at WWDC. And that's not the only aspect of iPadOS 16 that we're in the dark about. There's a new multiplayer aspect of Game Center, which rides on top of SharePlay and FaceTime, where you can share games and play games in real time for real-time collaboration. There's iCloud shared photo library, there's Stage Manager, there's extended display support. There's a whole bunch of apps that we know really nothing about, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me Apple were to release iPadOS 16, macOS Ventura without having an event because they're not able to control the messaging and really set expectations how a lot of those features work, including Stage Manager and external display support, which are two things which I think right now people are super hot and bothered over. Now, before I get into the next item, if you are enjoying today's video, you want to consider subscribing to the channel, hit that button right down there and smash that like button. I got a ton of content coming for new iPads, new iPadOS 16. You make sure that you are subscribed because you do not want to miss out. Now let's talk about the next feature. Now, if you were to pick the standout feature that came to the iPhone and iOS 16 this year, most of you undoubtedly would choose the new customizable lock screen experience as just that. This feature is well thought out, it's intuitive, it's available on a number of different devices, whether or not it's the newest device at all. It doesn't require you to buy a new device, and it really differentiates the experience. All you simply need to do is update your iPhone to iOS 16, and the feature is ready for you to configure. So on the flip side, what would you pick as the standout feature on the iPad and iPadOS? Now, if you want to guess, I'll pause the video. Actually, you got to pause the video. I can't do that for you. But comment down below with what you think those features are. I'll wait right here. Now, if you guess Stage Manager or external display, hey, I thought the same exact thing, but that is not the case. Now, hiding in plain sight, Apple has dedicated product pages for iOS 16 and iPadOS 16, which I'll link down in the first comment below, but these are product pages where Apple not only summarizes all the most important features coming to these devices this year, but they also list out all the changes, and they're not in alphabetical order. Somewhat confusingly, Apple believes that the #1 feature coming to the iPad and iPadOS 16 is iCloud shared photo library. What are you talking about? iCloud shared photo library? If you're confused why Apple believes its iCloud shared photo library as the #1 feature, here's my hypothesis. Now, forgive me, I'm gonna go full Pepe Silva here, so bear with me. For many iPad owners out there, your tablet is simply not an integral part of your day-to-day workflow, and there's more of a casual relationship that you have with the device, where you pick it up when you need it, and when you don't need it, maybe it's in a drawer, maybe it's dead, maybe it's charging, it's just tethered to the charger. Your kid has it, you have no idea where it is, but this is an important statistic because according to Google, this statistic closely aligns with what they see is about 80% of tablets don't even leave the house. Now, if you're Apple, this is a real problem because Apple makes money when they sell you new hardware. And as upgrade cycles elongate even further, Apple effectively has less opportunity to sell you a new iPad. Because by and far, how you use your iPad has not changed. Well, I think Apple is on the cusp of building new functionality into the iPad that centers around the connected home, and then your iPad is at the very center of it. So what that means is that Apple would have a strategy which is similar to what we saw with the AirPods, where instead of giving you a reason to upgrade your iPad every year or every 2 years, they give you a reason to buy a brand new accessory so you can use your iPad and make the use of it that much more attractive and the stickiness of staying within the ecosystem that much stronger. We saw that when Apple introduced the first Apple Pencil and the Smart Folio keyboard. Then Apple moved to the way to extract more money from us by introducing us to the Magic Keyboard. And now I think Apple is preparing to launch a smart speaker which makes your iPad a HomePod hub through MagSafe. Now, the name HomePod Hub is something that I thought of, and in no way, shape, or form do I have any proof that this even exists, other than the fact that there are several rumors kind of coalescing together, and there are some features in iPadOS 16 that would make something like this just all the more special and that much more cohesive. Now, bringing it back around, Apple believes that iCloud shared photo library is the #1 feature coming to iPadOS 16 because it is the foundation to that strategy where the iPad is at the center of the connected home. If you think about the Google Home Hub, Alexa, when anything that has a display, there's a big emphasis on pulling in your photos and how the photo memories work. That, in addition to doing the conversions on screen in iPadOS 16, the ability to hand off FaceTime calls in between devices, as well as being able to display the weather on the iPad. There's also a lot of work that Apple did on the HomePod side when you have a family or multiple individuals in a home to recognize the device, to play content from that individual's Apple Music library, as well as to authenticate the user and show things that are applicable to that user specifically that's interacting with the HomePod, which is why I think that feature is coming in iPadOS 16. I think the second act could be somewhere where the iPad transforms into a command center of sort, where there's a dashboard and it's connected to all the different accessories that are in your house, including this first-party MagSafe speaker, pulling together both you and your family's photos and memories onto a display, functioning as a single pane of glass, so to speak, giving you visibility into all the different things that are going on in your connected home, all while allowing for personalization, customization, and individual use within the HomePod. Now, in hindsight, it kind of makes sense why it took Apple so long to bring weather to the iPad. All right, guys, thanks very much for watching my video on why I think the iPad is going to get MagSafe. Does this type of product even ring true for you? Is this something that you're interested in? Guys, let me know what questions you have down in the comments below. My name is Mike. Make sure you are subscribed because I got a ton of content coming your way for iPadOS 16. I'll talk to you in the next one.